Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jeff. This is Will to Live Off-Road, and today we are going to be testing some off-road lights from Super E. Now these lights will come in either an amber or a white light. They have a focused direct spot beam, and then they have a wider beam, so it's a 2-in-1. You can actually put those on two different circuits if you wanted to, or you could power them all in one trigger point. Real quick, let's get into the box and let's look at what these actually look like here. All right, as you can see, I have one big beam in the middle. That is your spot beam. Got several LEDs on the side, which will give you a nice side pattern. Your diffused smaller beam patterns here, and then it looks like about 5 more smaller direct spot beams as well. Should give a nice cast of light. Now in the box, these, we'll check out the back. It's a really good looking light. Looks fairly well made. Now, one thing of note, in the box is included the bracket, and they do not include a wiring harness. So basically, black is your ground. The red should be the center spot beam, and then the yellow wire. Now guys, if you are expecting a in-depth video on how to actually use the upfitter switches and the wiring and the whole process for adding or upgrading lights for your Bronco, I promise I will do that at a future time. Today we're just basically trying to test out these lights and just see what they look like. And this should be a pretty good time here. We are already foggy this morning, so I'm hoping that fog carries over into the evening. We'll get these installed real quick and mount them up. The Bronco has a modular bumper. The light is a little too much depth here to fit and just directly mount to the bumper. So I need a little help. Picked up these from Mountains to Metal. It's a very well made modular bumper bracket, and that way you can mount like so. Mount your light directly to here and secure it out away from your grill. We'll get those installed real quick, and then we'll mount the lights up, and then we'll get them connected. All right, let's get into it. Using the provided tools that are in the Bronco toolkit, we removed the 2 bolts on the modular bumper. Once those were removed, we kept the bolt and then installed our Mountains to Metal bracket directly to the bumper, replacing the screws and then tightening it up. All right, and with these adequately hand tightened, we can now use our Bronco toolkit Torx wrench here and finish tightening these up. We're going to mount the lights up real quick. When I first got these, one issue I ran into was the bolt that passes through the housing of the light got hung up, kind of like this, what it's doing right now. And in order to not feel like you're breaking the housing or anything, you can tap it through with a little hammer and you should be fine. I put a little support here as to not get it tweaked when it goes through. Another way that you could do it would be to gently use like a vise, or probably, since we've already had that through there once, I'll just take a ratchet, the one that I'm going to use to install it, and tighten it up and everything, and just use it to just work itself through. That'll also do it. All right, so with a couple of little taps with a small hammer, I got it to about the point where it was breaking loose. It's a 17 millimeter here, and I did just thread it the rest of the way. You just may flatten out your threads just slightly but just take your time trying to line that back up when you go to putting the nut on here, and you should be okay. Now with that in there, holy cow. Well, all right. See my issue here? And I don't think bolt is directly over that. So let's get that back to where I can drop this down and then put the bolt in. So anyway, all right, let's back that back off. All right, with your bracket installed on the light, your mounting point from your light to your bracket, that is held, it's captive, as you can see there. So all it's got to do is just stay seated. We're going to sit this here. Not a bad looking light, eh? Not bad at all. All right, let's get this other one on and we'll start wiring it up. All right, so now we know that the yellow is the single center spot beam here. Red will do the outer ring and the two side shooters. And we have a ground here. I have found a ground point, several of them, in fact, back here. That's probably where I'm going to ground. I have an old wire from maybe some rock lights or something that I had, and I can go directly from here, pass it around, drop it down to this point, tie in on one side here and here, join the two reds together and go probably all the way with that one. And then the one single I can connect here. This is with the upfitter switches. This is your power point from the front of the vehicle on a Bronco. And then you're able to tie in here to here directly to your upfitter switches. So, well, this shouldn't take very long, so let's get after it. All right, so I have got it wired up. I haven't hid the wiring or anything because we just want to make sure that it worked. These have active shutters on the front of the Bronco, so I have really got to be aware of where those wires that are coming back from the firewall actually go, because you don't want to get them closed up in there or anything. Let's give it a go here and see what happens. Obviously, we have at this point I left aux 1 position on the Raptor is the off-road lights that are already there. So I had 5 more positions left. I ended up putting the focus beams on aux 5, which is the blue and orange wire. And the diffuse beam is on aux 6. With everything functioning correctly, it was time to reinstall the grill and hide those wires just a little bit better. But now at this point, we are completed with the wiring up process. So now we can go on to testing these bad boys out and seeing just how well they hold up on some nice corrugated gravel roads. All right, so we got the vehicle on. Headlights are on just in the auto setting, and we're going to now flip the off-road lights that come with the Raptor, and we can also turn on the fogs. Turn those on now, And now we're going to go aux 5. Now still need a little bit of adjusting with that, and we'll turn on the flood beam. Now that's a lot of light. Those beams need to come up just a little bit, I feel, but that's I can see all the way to the curve, and that's a pretty good distance. Plus, I think if they were adjusted correctly and up a little bit, I think that light would carry probably a little bit better. All right, let's turn these back off. Change the camera angle. Just turn it back. Oh, wait a minute. Forgot we were going to check this. Let's do that and high beams. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. These are too close together, and they're too low, but that can be fixed. Man, I like that. It's actually pretty substantial. I think that is more of a daytime running light though, because that is it's not much of a spotlight as far as. But those are exceptionally bright. All right, what I want to do is turn the camera around. And that one on the driver's side does have a little bit of a flicker, so that'll be something to look at here when we get a little running test. But again, you still need to have a little bit of tweaking. All right, with just a little bit of tweaking there, I think that can even get better than what it is, but I've got those beams now kind of matching up. It is, I guess, a true pencil beam. It's just really, really tight. I would probably be better if it were a flat spot with a much longer straight stretch. I could probably get those dialed in pretty good. That's about the distance I want them to go, but I still got just a little bit of a misalignment there, but hopefully. Oh man, look at that. It just lights it up. That's crazy. All right, so I had a little bit of bad audio, but as you can see in motion, that directed beam is just too much vibration, too much bouncing, and it just really kind of throws the whole thing off. So we eventually just turn it completely off, and we just decide to run with just the regular wide band, and honestly, I prefer it much better. Still has a little bit of flicker. I did check; it had nothing to do with the light not being tight enough or anything like that. It's just that the light may be too heavy for the bracket, and that causes it to have a little bit too much vibration that transfers into the light beam. But yeah, I mean, this is acceptable. I can deal with this. Again, these lights are $100, so it's not like they're $1,000 set of lights, but they really light things up. You just don't. I know it's picking it up on camera a little bit better, more than it would through the eye, and it's really not bad. We're about a good distance there from that street sign, and it is just lighting everything up. Have a few shortcomings. They shipped without the pigtail. You have to just do your own wiring as far as that goes. Would really like to see a weatherproof connector of some sort. Some sort of just simple wiring harness, potentially. But they look good. They do throw off a tremendous amount of light. However, this center beam, the laser or fake laser or whatever they call it, does a really, really tight light pattern on the passenger side, and it doesn't quite match on the driver's side. It's a little bit of a difference there. The tighter that pattern on this passenger side seems to make it a lot more prone for the vibration to really affect the light pattern. But waterproof, roughly right now $100 on superre.com. You can get your own. They have all kinds of lighting products on there. For a $100 light, I don't really think you can go wrong with them. I'm just being as brutally honest as I possibly can. The little narrow laser beam for that center light drives me nuts. So I just probably will run them without that, to be honest, unless I'm sitting still, needing to, or going really, really slow. Either of which I could probably deal with it. But once it starts running down the road, it's pretty bad. So that's going to wrap up our video on the Superre 7-inch amber work light, off-road light. You can put them, they're just universal, put them on anything. Just remember, you're going to have to be doing a little bit of wiring. And until they adjust and do something different with that bracket, just expect that you're going to probably get just a little bit of vibration affecting your light pattern. And of course, that may be just dependent on different vehicles may have not quite as much of an issue, but I just think the light's a little too heavy for the bracket, and that may be causing some of that. But all in all, yeah, they're a good light. They really are. And we'll beat the crap out of them. And if there's any other issues with it or anything like that, I will report back to you guys just so you can be aware of it. But thank you so much for sticking around. And future, I will be doing some more wiring of the different things on the Raptor. I realize there's a lot of information out there about the upfitter switches and how to wire those up, but a lot of detail is left out of that. So I really want to go through, if you're putting a light bar on the front, or if you're putting a light bar on the top, adding different things on the inside, you want to use those aux switches. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in great detail, because there's just there's a lot of little nuances to it that can seem a little intimidating, and it seems like they maybe have left a little information out on a lot of the other videos that I've seen or things that are on the internet. It's just like a blueprint. It's really hard to kind of make heads or tails of the small pictures and whatnot. So anyway, just be looking for that. And anyway, thank you so much. Hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas. I'm Jeff, Will to Live Off-Road, and we will see you later.